Hey, hey, hey. All right. So we back up and running now on the show?
Looks like everything's fine.
All right. Loving the rain. Rain's everywhere except if you're driving and there's accidents. You don't want to deal with all that crap. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Good morning, everybody. Met Jay Nixon in the elevator this morning. I said, "You look familiar." I was like, did I not vote for you for good reason? Didn't say that, but I thought it.
That's good.
I still have people coming up to me. You're on the news.
You're on the news.
People still think that. Still, I mean, there are still people. That's how viewing habits are in St. Louis. People,
That's right.
It's like funny.
So you could say, yes, I am still on the news. I am. It's just now on the podcast.
That's what I explained to them.
Yeah, it is still news.
And some didn't even know that I'm not there anymore.
That shows you they're not watching it. They probably last watched it when you were on there.
Yeah.
And then have it, because it's kind of hard to watch now. Because I look at them and I'm like, wow. And I'm not saying that they're not smart. It's just they're so programmed, it's hard to watch.
Boom, boom, bum, 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 boom. Trisha says, "You are the news." Good morning, YouTubers. Happy hump day. Yes, we just need to find more businesses that want to get their names out there.
That's right.
Either for business purposes or just to support the show.
Absolutely. And it's very economical to advertise on our show compared to other sources that I had worked at before. And more people are watching podcasts than ever before. And Annette, you're right. Jay Nixon is actually a very nice person. I don't agree with most of his policies, but he is a very nice person.
And his son is hardcore conservative.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Good morning, everybody.
Well, that is very encouraging. I dig it.
Can you dig it? Dig it?
I can dig it.
We need you guys to step in today. I didn't feel like there's tons of really good topics today. It is what it is.
Well, you know why? There is still things happening. And we dug up a bunch of stuff that is going on, but everyone, Vic, is just talking about the debates.
Really? I saw another platform that said debates are not even that thought of as being important anymore.
They're actually not important. In the end, they're not important. This debate is not going to sway anyone for who they're going to vote. But I think because people are just waiting to see what Joe Biden is jacked up on and what Donald Trump is going to do. How is he going to behave? Is he going to be more presidential or is he going to go hardcore? Because, at the debate, like I said, the rally, he asked the people at the rally how he should go about it. Should he go hard or just, go easy on him?
It's almost like it was a joke.
It is a joke. But that's what everybody's talking about. But you're right. It really doesn't mean anything. They've become a joke. It doesn't matter.
Joe, there's a lot happening today, so I'll be sending you videos as well, okay?
Okay, I'll be ready.
You always are. I mean...
Well, and Susan's saying she wished that the debate would be canceled because it's a huge waste of time. And in actuality, it is a huge waste of time. I mean, it is. I talked about the governors were supposed to have a debate at Parkway West, I think it was, on July 11th. And Kehoe's not coming to that. And it's for two reasons. One, July 11th, everybody's going to be paying attention to the arraignment of Donald Trump or whatever they're going to do to him that day. So that's going to get the focus that day. So if you're going to a debate and you planned it July 11th, probably not a good move.
I hear you. This is the show before the show, everybody, by the way. CancelTheShow.com. All right, getting back in here. Show before the show. Good morning, everybody who's jumping in already. Big time. Ben, good morning. Chris, Jeannie, Bendy, Roland, Kimberly, Sally, Gary, just Tanya, good morning. Yeah, we'll be talking a little bit of Missouri governor's race today, too. I know Tanya puts a lot of stuff out about Eigel. I know you're going to get angry if I say he's trailing big time in the polls, Tanya. I love you.
Right.
He's got a lot of ground to make up, at least the polling that I've seen.
Well, and I've listened to a lot of pundits talk about this.
I know him and I like him.
But he's trailing way behind right now. And there's a lot of our listeners that do like him. But, we have a mixed bag here, of people who don't live in this state. And we also have people that do like Kehoe that listen. We have people that like Ashcroft. So it's a good topic to bring up today about what we're hearing, what we're seeing, what's going on, what's the talk with all the pundits.
Appreciate everybody jumping into the show. We'll get started here in just a second. No matter where you are, we're checking in. We got some very bizarre stuff.
That's the thing. There is a lot of bizarre stuff going on.
There is? Kind of
Yeah.
like all the time?
Well, it's just every day. Yes, it's all the time. Like if we wanted to make a whole show about the people that are walking our streets these days that are either mentally ill, crazy, or the stuff they're doing, people that walk amongst us these days are just strange.
It's definitely getting weird.
It is totally getting weird.
Cheesecake Factory, St. Louis is going to close. Chesterfield Mall.
I'm surprised it hasn't already.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
I'm surprised. Well, and speaking of closing, did you hear about it? I can't remember the name of it because I wasn't really going to bring it up because it's kind of a no-brainer, but there's some restaurant, and anybody on the chat line that remembers it, it's closing, and they're blaming it closing on Andrew Bailey, of all things. It's a restaurant I never heard of. That's why it's not coming to my head. And they're saying that they're blaming it. Really, it's just a failing restaurant and it just isn't doing good. But the guy, Ron Connolly, I believe is the owner, and he's saying he has to close it and he has to leave Missouri because Missouri's attorney general doesn't like gay people and transgenders due to the lawsuit. And I'm like, that isn't why.
Yeah, it's not.
That is
Something on the Grove?
It's downtown.
Okay.
It's downtown.
Gee, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, and it's downtown. No, it's not Spencer's in Kirkwood. I'll look it up here in just a second. But
It's not rehab or
no,
anything on Manchester.
I don't.
Right there?
No, it's downtown.
Oh, okay.
And let me look it
Oh
up.
God, Megan, are you listening?
Yeah, and it's downtown. But the problem is it was failing, I think, anyway. But he's blaming on Andrew Bailey, who has hate for the LGBT community, particularly transgenders, due to his lawsuit. Andrew Bailey's not suing transgenders. He's just suing the hospitals and people that want to perform surgeries on children.
Exactly.
That's it.
Well, one, if it's downtown, it's not going to get a lot of business anyway. It has to be like,
Right.
I mean, even on the Landing, which used to be a very hopping, like
Correct.
everybody. But if you have a bar down there, it's going. It's there.
Yeah.
It's not going to be.
That's right. That's
Damn.
right.
Damn, the Landing Washington was more popular since the Landing.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of restaurants closing right now. There are people on the chat line are talking about Spencer's in Kirkwood is closing after 72 years. Hooters is closing a lot of their restaurants
Yeah, we
nationwide.
talked about that yesterday.
We sure did.
Okay, Joe, we can go ahead and start the show. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for your patience. Hey guys, welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house as well. You know what we do? We're here Monday through Friday,
8 to 10.
I know, it's kind of spooky.
You're being distracted by the music.
It's like I'm looking around like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey,
You know
Vic,
what?
did you come into work high today?
Touche.
I'm listening to that music
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, oh.
You know what that is? It either feels
Yeah.
like you're in a spa, or you know what? You're looking around, you're starting to act like Joe Biden.
I saw another
Like you're
article.
seeing ghosts.
I saw another article about sound baths.
Oh, that's what it is.
Wait a minute, I got to start over. Welcome into Cancel This.
Okay, talk like that.
Cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com.
I don't like it. Stop it.
Come in, everyone, and listen to Vic act like Joe Biden, or he's in a spa, one or the other, or he hung out with Joe last night.
We provide sound baths, floating tubes or floating tubs, massages,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. All right, Joe, can you pop the button and give me some other music?
You're thinking anything but that. You're gonna fall asleep.
Just it's only backdrop music as
That's
we
right.
talk. All right, that's right. It's Cancel
There you
This,
go.
baby. It's cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. You can feel it. That's right. The vibe that we have here, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. News headlines, politics, cancel culture education, politics, political interviews from all over the country, the water talk, the news that not only you can use, but the news that inspires you. And we appreciate you guys giving that to us as well. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling it, Joe. That was perfect. Love it. All right. It is Wednesday, happy hump day, June 26th. We're going to get on the news, but you know what the big news of the day is?
What's the big news?
My girlfriend's favorite actor.
Oh, who's that?
I think it's her favorite, or at least her favorite to look at.
Okay.
Reacher season 3 is on the way.
Oh, I bet
Jack.
you're excited.
Reacher.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, are you familiar with Reacher at all?
Yeah.
One of the most iconic
Yeah.
characters of Amazon. First 2 seasons were just flat out terrific. Loved them. Very, very good. Season 3's coming, baby.
My husband will be excited. He likes Reacher a lot.
He does.
Yeah, he does. He likes it.
And I can get over the politics thing sometimes. Reacher the actor, I can't think of his name right now. Adam. Oh, what is his name?
Wait, you're talking about Tom Cruise, right?
No, Tom.
I know. I can see
Tom
the guy's
Cruise
face.
did the movie.
Oh, okay.
And
Gotcha.
And the new actor, he is so much better.
Yeah.
He's believable. I mean, he's big, strong, smart.
Well, you know, I mean, a Reacher is really great, but
Alan Richardson. Yes.
that's the main guy in Reacher.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's legit.
Yeah,
He's a damn good actor,
he's good,
and he looks good.
and he is easy on the eyes too.
Hell
I agree
yeah,
with
he is.
Megan on that.
Hell yeah, he is. He is. Anyway, season 3's coming. I can't wait for that.
Nice.
I'll binge watch the heck out of that with
Mhm.
Alan Richardson. And you know, some people were getting on him because he said something about politics
Yeah, people think he's liberal. I don't know if he is or not, really.
but you know, he hasn't said I support Joe Biden. You can still like him.
Yeah.
You know, we always say you can be Republican and Democrat, give an idea. We may not think you're very smart for being that way,
Correct.
but he has not gone out and promoted publicly Joe Biden.
Well, that's
So-
a good thing.
Anyway, somebody said he's a raging lunatic. What?
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah. But then Roland also says he's great, though. I don't know. You know what I think is great? My favorite show out there right now is Yellowstone, and the main character is not coming back.
Who's the main character?
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I thought he was coming back for one more season.
He's not going to.
So now that's for sure.
Yeah.
So they're going
came
to
out
kill
and
him
said
off.
that over
Somebody's
the
going to kill him
weekend.
off.
I think that they were going to kill him off, and that's why he doesn't want to come back. And so he doesn't
Well,
want
if he doesn't come,
want it to end that way.
oh, so they're not even going to do another season.
I think they're going to do another one without him.
That's all right.
Yeah.
They don't need Kevin Costner to do another season.
They don't, because there's a lot of other characters.
Beth and Rip could carry the damn show.
They sure could.
Yeah, we've turned it into entertainment. Canceled this morning for a little bit.
Just for a second.
Roland is making sure. He's like, he says Alan has his own podcast. So Roland thinks he's a weirdo. Well, I know this. I know a lot of people think we're weirdos.
They do.
And there's some people who think we're amazing. Jay says, I won't be watching
Yellowstone he's talking about. Well, and Chris says he's too busy filming his 4-part movie. And that, I think that is part
Glenn
of it
says
too.
that Kevin Costner could come back in the future.
I hope that's the case.
So if that were the case, maybe he just leaves for a while. They don't need Kevin Costner to continue Yellowstone. They don't. I'm telling you, they don't.
People. Yeah, I wanted to come back with or without him. I do. That's my binge watch.
Kimberly says, I disagree, Vic. John Dutton is the anchor of the Dutton Ranch. I agree. But I think
he's the patriarch.
But they could intertwine somehow, some way with
I
that
hope
character.
so. And I hope that he does come back for closure. I don't know.
Yeah, Megan says he's busy doing the other show. That's what was said.
That's very true.
The guys, you need to listen to his interview about conservatives. He's a nutcase. That coming from Dennis James about Alan. Well, guess what? He's allowed to do. I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. Taylor Swift is liberal.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know what? She goes out.
And a lot of conservative moms takes their daughters to the concert because, and you know what? I don't blame. I mean, Taylor Swift is playing in my house a lot because of my daughters. And I don't even particularly like her music. And I certainly don't like her politics. But I want my children to be children. And my kids all clearly know my political bent. I mean, you just drive up to my house with a ginormous American flag and Trump stuff everywhere. But that being said, children, our political beliefs have ruined some of our children's childhood because like, oh, can't listen to that because they're a liberal. Oh, can't listen to that. I don't want my kids to worry about that. I am raising people. I'm trying really hard not to raise liberals. I really am. But you have to balance it with, can they just have fun for a minute? Have fun for a minute.
Okay, I agree. Chris says, by the way, guys, Yellowstone is confirmed to be coming back for next season.
Yes.
But nothing after that.
That's right. Yep. This is the only thing that they're saying, and it's without John Dutton. So, and you know who made that stat is my mom. I almost hesitated to tell her because she lives for Yellowstone, and I think she's secretly in love with John Dutton. So, I mean,
no, that'll be interesting. I don't mind us getting off the beaten path here for a little bit, talking because I get tired. I'd rather not hear athletes and actors getting into this and like doing it publicly. But you know what? If you're asked, I mean, you can be quiet, but at the same point in time,
if you have a platform, I don't blame them for using it.
Do you guys have any friends who are Democrats? I do. I know people who are going to vote for Joe Biden, and you know what? I like them. Do I disagree with them? Do I think it's bad for our country? 100%, but I don't dislike them. Well, Lizzie, do you have any friends who are voting Democrat?
No.
Joe, do you have any friends who are voting Democrat?
I'm sure I do. As a matter of fact, I have family that are.
So, okay, and then there are people who watch and listen to our show. Guess what? Have family members
they do. You can't help it
for Joe Biden and or consider themselves Democrats and will vote for Democratic candidates.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I definitely have some family members that don't like Donald Trump because they think he's mean. But my inner circle of friends, I used to have Republicans and Democrats and all that until I got very loud in 2015 about my adoration for America. And the only way that I thought that it could improve from Obama was Donald Trump. And I lost, I'm going to say now, just, pseudo friends, because every friend that I lost, I got 2 to 3 more great conservative friends. So really,
that's interesting. You don't have one friend.
Not a friend. I have acquaintances.
Well, then we have to determine what you guys know what an acquaintance is and what you would consider a friend.
Well, that's true. I don't even have many acquaintances anymore because I've been very loud since 2015 and been in conservative talk, for the better part of since 2015. And I make liberals feel very uncomfortable to be around.
Chris says my podcast partner's a Dem. We disagree about social issues, but we can agree on many things, like modern Disney going into the toilet.
Sure.
Susan says, if I smell a liberal, I run the other way. Jeannie says, I absolutely do have liberal friends, but they don't talk about it.
And see, that's okay. I think you can, because I have less issues with liberals than liberals do with me. Because
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, because if someone came to my house and they were a liberal,
Mm-hmm.
they are welcome there. And I try very hard not to talk about politics to people that feel uncomfortable about it, but they're uncomfortable with me. My house just makes people uncomfortable if they're a liberal because it's so Americana. And that says a lot more on them. It's not even I have Trump everywhere.
I love you, Megan. Or Megan.
But
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
which
interrupt you.
Megan?
I love the Megan and Megan differently.
I know you do.
Megan's the girlfriend. Megan's
Part of our team.
Part of our team.
Yeah.
She says she has several liberal friends voting for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Robert says he has ex-friends.
See, that's how mine are too. They just, I have not as much problem with them as they do to me. And so that's on them. It really is. Now I have relatives I can't avoid that are liberal. And I try not to talk about politics, but guess what? They try to talk about it to me.
Dr. Spider says liberals not allowed at his house. My Libby BFF is outnumbered and he knows it. So we don't talk politics.
That's great. That's great.
I don't even know how people can date being Republican and liberal anymore. I don't know how you can date.
Yeah, I think it would be hard because it's no longer politics. It's a complete worldview and it's an ideology now. Back in the olden days, I think there was no issue for you to be a Democrat and a Republican. There might be some fight, but now there is such a distinct difference between somebody that's on the right side of things and people that are on the left side of things. They're completely different thought patterns.
Glenn reminds everybody, vote Trump because he's going to boost the hospitality industry. No taxes on tips.
Yes.
I repeat, no taxes on tips.
Every server should be
That
voting
is
for
big.
Trump. For sure. Because you want your tips not to be taxed.
I wonder if the bar owners and the managers at these places and restaurants and bars and are letting their people know about this.
I hope they are. I hope they are.
From the chat line, politics is now about an economic system.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And it's not just an economic system. It's a social entity now. I mean, people that, that are very pro-life, typically tend to be on the right side of things. Now, that doesn't mean to say that there's not some Democrats that are pro-life, but as a general rule, the left is okay with unaliving things. They just are. We're the right side of things. People are very much for life.
Well, it is another idea to think about, but damn, that no taxes on tips is
I think
big.
that's beautiful. Yeah. And a lot of people, that's why servers love to be paid in cash, because I don't think most servers, the cash that comes in, I don't think they claim the cash, but when you pay it on your card, it goes to the company and then the company has to distribute it back to you with taxes taken out.
That's why they're pushing the cards in restaurants so
That's
hard,
right.
because, I mean, if you give them cash, Uncle Sam doesn't see it, I promise.
Yeah, no, Uncle Sam does not see it. And you can choose to do with that cash what you want to do with it, unless there's still a lot of restaurants that are tip sharing, but I bet many servers that see it on the table take it. Now, some may be honest and split it with the busboy.
Okay, my question is, why can't the candidates just present their policies without any mudslinging? I find it to be so childish, middle schoolish, almost high school, sophomoric, I guess, that when it comes to debate.
Yeah, I agree. I immediately, when somebody slams another candidate, I check out the candidate they're slamming and seeing if it's true. Just the other day, I'm driving a highway down like an old country road, and I see a big sign that somebody called a guy Nate the Snake, and his name is Nathan Bibb. And he's running.
Oh, I saw that sign too.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
I looked to see what it is. And I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. Then to come to find out, that was put up by the opposite campaign. And that's Joe Brazel. And this is me not pushing either one of them. But I just thought Nathan Bibb is just going on his policy and Joe Brazel is bashing his opponent. And I know that's part of politics. I get that. And that's not saying good or bad about either candidate, but it made me look at Nathan Bibb to see, is he really that bad? And he's not. I mean, he's not. He's a good conservative too. So.
Dr. Spider says liberals should not be forgiven because they're the main ones who have forced mask and the cupcake. They should never be forgiven.
Yeah, that's something that's really hard to forget. Even if you That is a really good point. They're okay with the government. I mean, that's true. Liberals are okay with the government running your life and having control over it. That's my biggest thing I don't like is I don't want the government in my business telling me what to do. And I owned a business, reason why I'm not in the business anymore. I loved what I did, but I didn't like the government intervention all the time in my business. I hated it. So there was no way I could be a lefty because the lefties were the one pushing the rules on my business.
We also have somebody from the chat line saying, I always pay tips in cash and hand
Yes.
it directly to the waiter or waitress who served it. So if you really like somebody, try to have cash.
Yeah.
You know, Megan Rowan, you need to have cash.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I try to.
if
Sometimes
you
I
have
forget.
cash in your account, take the cash with you.
That's right. That's right. Sometimes I do. And I feel actually very guilty on paying with a card to someone. And I do that sometimes because I don't carry cash as much as I used to, but I feel really bad about it.
I went into the gas station right down the street. Hold on, I'll put my camera on. Sorry, Vic. I went to the gas station right down the street, the old one that's been there at the junction. Well, anyway, I went in there and tried to prepay for gas with cash, and they said they didn't accept cash. It was only card.
No, that happens somewhere. There's also, and then there are also gas stations that will only take cash when it comes to lottery tickets. They don't have to pay the fines or pay the taxes when it comes to using a card for lottery tickets.
Yeah.
I've seen that too. I've seen, oh yeah, we need that. No, you got to have cash. What? I can't buy a lottery ticket without cash. You got to have cash to buy a lottery ticket as well.
That's interesting.
Had you ever seen that?
No, I've never seen that.
Actually, I haven't either.
I've never seen that, but that's interesting.
I think it's more maybe smaller gas stations.
Yeah, could be.
Smaller owners
because
it can be super expensive.
Yeah, the credit card fees are a lot of money.
Yeah, very interesting when it comes to that. This is Cancel This by cancelthisshow.com. We are talking politics, especially when it comes to the debate, when it comes to your interactions with other people in life, because we all know 2024 has divided us in so many different ways, and wonder what it's like to have friends, family members with different opinions. There is, like I said, there's absolutely no way, no doubt you could even remotely, I don't see how you could even remotely consider a relationship with somebody in this day and age who differs politically, because
hard
because it affects everything who we are right now as people. Am I out like a new relationship? Maybe people have been together for a while.
Correct. Because we have people on our chat line,
but people getting together just in the last 6 months or a year.
I agree. I don't know how you could. Years ago, a lot of people were Democrats, and then one will change after Obama and they're still married and they just can't talk about it. But if you've been together for a long time, there's plenty of other things to talk about than politics. But if you're new, I don't think I could ever date a liberal. I don't think so. I know I couldn't. I absolutely couldn't. I could be friends with them, but like I said, they can't be friends with me. It's the opposite. I'm more open-minded, and I will be friends with everyone because I don't have to agree with you to be friends. And I think it's important that we reach across the aisle to try to understand. I'm not saying I would ever agree with them, but to get them to understand what we are is actually good, but they just won't listen to you.
I know some very, very intelligent people in the world. I know some men who are Democrats, liberal Democrats, who have attained everything that they would want to in the worldly view, that people would think, oh, they have everything. But they are hardcore left-leaning liberal Democrats and would never even open their mind. The pride is crazy. Now, they'll try to philosophize, well, this is why I do this and do that. But at the end of the day, they're still a Democrat liberal. And I don't know how anybody that's a conservative or loves Trump or even loves a lot of the social issues could ever even have a conversation. It would be all just fake. It's the paper mache. It just would not work.
Yeah. I guess in the older I get, the less I can tolerate dumbasses. And so if you're sitting there and they're very intelligent, like you said, and they might even be successful, but then when you try to explain to them, they may not even be political and they make zero sense because of, like what you said, their pride.
Mark Cuban, the former owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
You know, he's a perfect example.
Yeah, he is. Well, and he also has Trump derangement syndrome.
Well, yeah, he does.
I mean, he really does. So, I mean, in the olden days, you could be friends with somebody that voted for a different president than you, but I don't know. I think it's just, we're in a different time and a different place because the machine, as I call it, the big whole world order people have purposely set this up so that half the country doesn't like the other half, and it's all on purpose. And I think that's why I really want to reach across the aisle and talk to those people, because I don't agree with them at all, but this was by design. We're used as pawns. So you can say, oh, I'm a Republican, or oh, I'm a Democrat, or I'm a liberal, or I'm a conservative. You're just a pawn in a bigger game to divide us so that we crumble from within. So we can hate these liberals all we want to, but now I look at it differently, that I don't hate you. I want you to understand there's somebody bigger than us that is doing this to us, so that I hate you and you hate me.
What's really weird is they feel the same about us.
They do.
How do you get past that? I just
That's
don't get
right.
it.
But that was all by design. Because you're right. If you talk to a liberal, they think we're stupid. They think we're dumb and that
Brainwashed by the orange man.
That's exactly right. So each side is saying the exact same thing. How do you think that happened? Go back to 1928, 1927, when they started purposely put Marxism and Marxism training all through our whole country. And you can look at that. Critical race theory and all DEI didn't start yesterday, didn't even start 10 years ago. It started in the early 20s.
Years ago, you could argue your ass off with the other side and drink a beer after it. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's really hard.
A house divided cannot stand.
That's right.
Once again, let me repeat that. A house divided cannot stand when it comes to dating. When it comes to two very different issues of how we're going to live life, it's only a matter of time before that blows up.
Well, and think about your parenting, okay? So these days, if you're a conservative and you're a Democrat, and I'm going to wager to say this, and you guys tell me if I'm completely wrong here. And this is just a guess, because my husband and I are both very conservative and are raising conservative children, put them through Christian school. But here's my thing. I want people to think about that. Look at families today that one is a hardcore. Now, you could raise kids if you're anti-political, whatever. But if one is a staunch conservative and one is a staunch liberal, look at their children. They're probably a little messed up. Seriously. Look at a family that has complete different ideologies. And I'm not even talking about politics. Children have to see parents on the same page.
Yeah, I don't know any.
Yeah, I know a few, and their kids are messed up.
Man,
that's why I say
when
that
you say
kids are messed up.
When you say messed up, what do you mean?
They really are screaming for help. They're doing drugs heavily, alcohol, in trouble at school, have no way to see a moral compass. Their parents are conflicted in politics, so their kids don't know which way to go.
Are both parents promoting a lifestyle of Christianity?
No.
And I'm not
kind of.
Okay, well, we can break it down.
I
just don't know.
Kind of.
It's where we are in 2024, especially leading into the debate tomorrow night on how people see it, how people go. Does pride become a factor? All of those things that are happening. I just think I know of not one relationship that has begun or started that, I guess, and because I'm not hanging out with 20-year-olds, I'm not hanging out with 30-year-olds.
Right.
That could start or even work because of where politics are right now.
Correct.
In Donald Trump and this country. If you have a conservative and a liberal, I just can't see it.
Yeah, I think it'd be really tough.
And I think it'd even be more far-fetched if it was a conservative, I guess you would say a conservative woman and a liberal man.
Oh, that's tough.
That would even be
that's tough.
I could see, because there seems to be more conservative men.
Correct.
And liberal women, but a conservative woman and a liberal man, no way.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Because if somebody tries to tell you that's working, it's not working.
No, because a conservative woman
something else
wants a very strong conservative man, or at least a man's man. Maybe if you don't want to call it conservative. So if you're sitting there as a strong woman and you see this limpy soy boy, whatever, that can't even lift the ladder, and the female's doing it, that's not going to work. But I do see what you were saying, that if you're a strong conservative man and the girl's a liberal, you probably can get by with that, because if you're a strong man, the man's just going to keep lifting, so to speak. So, but either case, I think it's really hard.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It is interesting, especially going into the debate tomorrow. Troy says most liberals deny God.
That's true.
And that's the problem. So
that's the problem. That's the biggest problem.
Roland says, I agree. That would be very difficult. conservative woman, liberal man, maybe easier with a conservative man, liberal woman.
Yeah.
Breaking down all of the, it's our own informal polling.
I got a question. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Do you have to be Christian or of the faith of God in order to be conservative?
No.
Heck no.
No, you
I
don't.
know a conservative atheist.
No, you don't.
Okay. That was my point.
No.
I was just because we're making it sound like it's more like if you're conservative, you're Christian.
Yeah,
It's just one more aspect of
Yeah,
Right, right.
It's just if you break it down and you see conservatives, the majority of the conservatives probably believe in a higher power. The left side of things, they believe they are the higher power. They believe in me. I can whack my tallywhacker off and I can do this and that, where people on the right are not going to do that. But I know many conservatives that have a good moral compass, not necessarily a Christian compass, and they vote for Donald Trump and they vote on the right side of things.
Right.
Policy driven from the chat line. Social and economic interpretation is the divider. Christians who identify as conservative or a liberal will quantify their beliefs via the Bible. If they are not Christian, then the likelihood is they are Democrats.
Yeah.
That's certainly a good approach.
Well, it is. If you even sit in church on Sunday and your pastor is truly a Bible believing human, they will quote things that are conservative, because the Bible is, if you're a Christian, you believe it is absolutely 100% true. And if you're sitting in a church that talks about things that aren't even biblical, like I'm going to say being a transgender or this or that, this is not bashing transgender, but that's not in the Bible to say to not trust God and the fact that you were born a girl, so you're going to stay a girl. So, I mean, it's just interesting when you sit in the pews of a church, and there was plenty of churches during the pandemic that closed or fought into the DEI because that was the curriculum going. But I'm seeing churches, I'm very hopeful in churches, because many of them now have shown you who they are. There are some that they're not churches, they're just indoctrination camps. Even churches are. Schools and churches are indoctrination camps.
Dennis says a lot of the libbies I've had experiences with are atheist.
Yeah,
maybe. And Donna says girls were girls, men were men. We could use a man like Herbert Hoover. Didn't have welfare states. Everybody pulled their weight. Those were the days.
Yeah, those were the good old days. Those were the good old days.
Cancel this, canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house. If you still have comments, you have opinions on how liberals and conservatives can get along. Can they really get along in this day and age? Can you still have really good friends who are liberals and decide, hey, this is where I see it. Can you really have anything more than surface with somebody like that?
You can have a good time and you can laugh and have a drink and like you said, do surfacey things, talk about TV. And if you've been a longtime friend and if you stay away from politics, I think you can be.
And could you have people around your kids? Let's say you have kids and somebody is a liberal or doesn't believe in God. Could you bring them around your kids?
I've had that happen. I had a friend that I had for years and years and years. And the fact that we were so conservative actually kind of made her uneasy. And she was an educator and would come in and tell my kids what they were learning in Christian school was wrong. And that my children, like they were learning about flags. Like my children understood what the Confederate flag, the don't tread on me flag. And we're not saying we even hang those, because we don't. But she was telling our kids that if they even talked about those in her school, their school was racist. So at that point, my children came to me and said, I know she's been friends with you for 44 years, but Mom, she's wrong. And behind your back, when you walk out of the room, she's trying to tell us by going to Christian school and learning what we believe is the truth is wrong. So that was a friendship that just kind of went by the wayside. And that was my children who were the ones that noticed that she was undermining me.
Jay says, I can be friends with anyone, but typically my experience is liberals can't do the same.
See, that's what true? I said. Yeah, that's what I would say. I can be. I could have continued to be friends with her. I would never have gone and told her kids that their mother was wrong.
Yeah, parents, please do not bring.
I would never have done that. But she felt it was because she was turning liberal, I guess. She felt she was saving my children from myself. And so but I couldn't see it that clearly because I was too close to the situation. I've been friends with her since preschool. But it was one of those things that her church had even gotten very liberal. She was in a very liberal school. She herself was very indoctrinated. And I think I knew that about her, but we just didn't go to politics. And so I just left it out. But my kids weren't having it. My kids were the one that came to me and said, yeah.
Was it a teacher at the high school or just curious
A
because I had a
principal at
teacher?
the high school. Was a principal at a high school. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that can
Yeah.
change things as well.
For me, Facebook is like a huge indicator of how you cannot. Like, every time I make a post, and they're always conservative posts, I get some I get some intelligent conversation. However, most of the time, there's one or two liberal friends that like to come on and they like to be confrontational. They like to be insulting. They like to And it's like, how can you have an intelligent conversation if you're doing nothing but insulting the other person?
Well, it can make it hard.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. It's such an interesting topic because we want to get along on this show. We talk about trying to come together.
We have to.
Everybody's opinions are welcome. Even just bring it with fact.
Yeah.
But I just don't see how these two sides, where we are in 2024, how people can get along.
Mm-hmm.
And have anything meaningful.
That's the key, is what you just said. Meaningful. You can go, I think, to a bar or go out to a club, or go to a ball game with a liberal with zero issues. If you're just, hey, I'm talking about the Cardinals, or I'm talking about city soccer or whatever. But if you have a meaningful conversation, you can't with a liberal in most cases because they get butthurt so easy that then they want to shout you down. So meaningful is the key word there, Vic.
Yeah. I mean, you could have some things that are superficial.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can lightly date somebody and do whatever would consist in that too. But man, I just don't see where we are because our entire life is now set up that way from a political standpoint, whether it's right or wrong. And from the platform, from the chat line, Jeannie says, I have two friends that don't say a word to me until I post something political.
Of course.
Then they're all over it.
Uh-huh.
I call them out every time.
That's right. Good for her.
Megan says, liberals love me for about the first hour that they meet me. And then when a logical conversation takes place, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. They run for the hills from me.
Yeah.
No, I see exactly where it's going.
Yeah, that's true. And I do think it's interesting. I love the ones who never say anything. You could even post a cute little doggy picture and they don't like it. They don't say anything. But the minute you post something political, then they just go ratchet on you. They really do.
And that's what the powers at B want. Division.
That's exactly right.
And how we're not supposed to get along. But it is what it is though now.
I know. And that's
it is. Part.
Yeah.
And that's what has happened. And it's just because it's so much of who we are as a people when you have two very different ways of living, raising kids, how you act, how you're going to vote, what you would do with your money, what you would support when it comes to kids and transgender surgeries, what you would support with taxes, what you would support with the border. These are major issues. I just could not look at somebody and know that I'm dating them or sharing myself or my time or anything, knowing that they disagree with me and they would be for all of the things that I'm against. And that's a shame because things have gotten to a point where we are so far past the middle point where I don't even think it's possible.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And to have a quote meaningful relationship, whatever that is.
Right.
Also from the chat line, they talk about Trump and his language. Well, Biden curses at us at a daily basis.
Daily.
Jay says, I have a family that does not talk to me because I'm conservative.
Yeah, and that's it. And have you noticed what he just said? It's the liberals that won't talk to you. It's not the other way around. Most conservatives, because we like freedom and we don't agree with the liberals, but we will still not cast them out of our lives. It's the very tolerant liberals that can't talk to you. And it's because we have raised a generation of people that are easily offended. And so now those people that are easily offended, when you don't agree, they can't handle it. And those that are easily offended typically seem to be the liberals. At least, let me just say this, in my life, the easily offended ones are the liberals. They're the ones that cannot stand when you have an opinion that isn't the same as theirs.
I see that. I do, Lizzie. And I've experienced it as well. We get people, most people love our show. And of course, we go around the country. We're here 8 to 10, Monday through Friday, Central Time. But if people disagree, I mean, they are vicious, nasty.
Yes.
They take the keyboard warrior definition to a whole new level.
They sure do.
And just very, very nasty. And I only respond in peace. And I do, if I do
Same.
at all. And they get even more nasty.
They do. Because they want to fight.
And I
They
wish
wanna
that wasn't.
fight.
And people who have no idea who we are, they just want to jab it in you
That's right.
and take shots at you.
Well, and this is a really broad statement.
Can I say something? Really
Please
quick?
do.
From the chat line, can't we just all coexist?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's the best. Soon as you see somebody with one of those bumper stickers, you absolutely know they're not tolerant. That's the interesting thing. They can coexist with even terrorists, but they can't coexist with somebody that might have a Trump bumper sticker.
Exactly.
For sure. For sure.
Kevin says they become the bully. Offended? Get over it, from Jay.
Yeah, just get over it. But they do become a bully. And correct me if I'm
snowflake.
Yeah. I did that. I was guilty of that, where when that whole snowflake came in within the 2016 election, I was really guilty of calling liberals snowflakes. I was really guilty of that. And part of it was gleeful because once they said something really mean and started calling me names, I was like, stop being a snowflake. But then I realized that was counterproductive, even though they really were snowflakes.
Yeah, you're just giving them a word to throw right back.
That's right. That's right. So that's the one buzzword that I used back then too. And I realized, okay, stop it with the snowflake stuff because it's, whatever.
Kevin says so true, Lizzie.
Yeah,
so true with everything that's going down.
I mean, it's sad that way. And you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, and you guys might say something different, but in my sphere of the liberals that I know, they're fundamentally angry because they're fundamentally don't have a moral compass, and they fundamentally are just not happy. And most of the conservatives that I see, sure, we all have sad days. We have things that don't make us happy and we bitch or complain about it. But as a general rule, even our bad days, we know that you have good days, but this too shall pass. And so no matter what we're going through, in the end, we're going to all be fine. And liberals just are pissed off and unhappy all the time.
Megan says snowflake is better than wussy, sissy, or pedo.
That's right. Which good point there.
Jeannie says I was called a snowflake by a liberal.
I know, isn't that funny? And that's what Joe was saying. They've now flipped it on us and call us the snowflakes. And you know what? Somebody said to me one time, stop calling the liberals snowflakes, because liberals aren't beautiful, but snowflakes are individuals and they're beautiful and they come down from God. So that's what made me stop calling them snowflakes.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know. Just share your experiences with people when you have them, when it comes to liberals.
Yeah.
Or if you're liberal, share your experience with a conservative. I mean, we love to talk with people if they are liberal, because we know there are liberals who listen. Jump on the chat line.
They are liberals that listen.
We would bring you in and do an interview. Next week, we're going to have a former St. Louis cop who is actually, he was beaten by St. Louis City cops. He recently.
Oh, you got him?
Yeah, he recently, this was years ago.
It was a long time ago.
St. Louis County cop.
Yeah.
So he's going to come in. And
good. I'm excited.
But we'll talk a little bit about that situation because he had his settlement. But he hates and thinks that we're really stupid in everything that we say.
He thinks we're stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
We have one of those surface relationships. We say, hey, how you doing? Shake your hand. Nice guy. Talk. But we are kind with each other as we talk about politics.
Yeah.
But he disagrees with most of what we say. He will be on the show next week.
And he was a St. Louis County cop.
St. Louis County cop.
Got it. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The name isn't coming to me right now. But yeah,
and he's a black man and he is a liberal and he thinks that we're totally lost with the show that we do, but he does chime in and listen.
That's interesting. I like it. Well, I'm glad he's coming, because I like it when liberals come here, because I want to understand where they're coming from. And to this day and age, a lot of my relatives were police officers. And at that point in life, they were Democrats and they were all St. Louis City police officers. Every one of them was a Democrat. Now, every police officer that I know said they could never be a Democrat. There might be some in the city still that feel like in order to get along with Tashara Jones, you have to say you're a Democrat. But most of them said, we're not supported by the Democrats. We're absolutely not. Obama brought this anti-cop hate thing going on. And so every single police officer that I personally know are now Republicans. So that'll be interesting to see who he thinks he's supported by in the Democrat Party, who comes alongside him and uplifts him when he already had a problem with another cop. So I find that fascinating.
Chris says, it's amazing how much you can inflame someone raging over an issue by being calm.
Yes.
Also calling them things like Skippy, Scooter, etc. Tricks I learned working the door.
Don't call them bud either. And I noticed you call people bud.
Yeah.
And that is a word that inflames liberals.
Bud?
Oh,
buddy?
Yeah. Don't call a liberal a bud or buddy.
Oh.
Don't do it. Mm-mm.
I think that's more respectful than Skippy or Scooter or
It's
Shooter.
definitely more respectful. However, my kids brought me to light on that situation, saying that it's kind of, what's the word? It's demeaning. It's because you're saying, "Hey,
100.
bud,"
Yeah.
No, it's you're putting context onto that. It's how the person says it.
Well, yeah, it's definitely how the person.
Like all the people that I deal with.
Yeah.
It was like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?"
It's kind of,
"Hey, buddy." Yeah,
the way they put it is, it's kind of a way to establish superiority.
My kids say the same thing. When you say something, "Hey, bud," they now
well, listen to how you two are saying it, though. You're both saying it with negative. I hear negative tone in your voice when you
that
say
may
it.
be true.
But when I say it with positive tone. So there's a whole nother dynamic.
So when I say "I love you too, bud," that's still not good.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. But you know what? You know what's even worse than bud? Glenn is saying Chad. Don't call somebody a Chad. Don't call somebody.
Who would call somebody a Chad?
Well, Chad is the male version of Karen.
Oh, yeah, that sounds negative.
Yeah, if you just say, "Okay, Chad," you just really diss somebody when you say that. And you know what? There's a lot of great Chads in the world. So I don't know. And there's a lot of great Karens in the world.
Chad and Karen, I think with the bud, it's about tone.
Okay, well, that could be true. That could be true.
That's what Chris thinks too on the chat. It's
yeah,
tone.
That
Everything's
could be
tone.
Mm-hmm.
So both sides need to be tone deaf.
Right. Isn't that the truth? Mm-hmm.
I call everyone dude. It's just my tone.
But I like dude. I call people dude as well too, but maybe somebody finds that offensive, but I like dude.
See, but that's the problem in this day in life. It's like bud is more personal than dude. And then to me, like dude, hey dude.
Like, hey dude.
Hey dude.
You're gnarly, dude.
But I guess it's just, once again, it's how you say what you're saying, bro.
Don't say bra. One of my kids one time
the
called
bra
me
thing
bra,
with kids is,
and they didn't do it again. Let me just tell you, don't call your mother a bra. Don't. It wasn't like I hit him or anything. I just gave
my
him
son's name is Chad. Yeah, of course. If that's their name.
Well, Chad's a great name. Well, just think about if your name is Brandon now too. I know Brandon's that'll be like, let's go, Brandon.
Brother.
Yeah.
Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Brother.
I like brother. I do like brother. Hey, brother. I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Gary says he calls girls dude. Sometimes people call me dude too, and that to me it's an endearment. But
I agree with Kimberly. She's like, people just need to get over themselves, get over your feelings,
Very true.
Get over this. Heather says people are way too sensitive these days.
Yeah, they are.
They take everything to heart. The skin gets all riled up.
Yeah.
I've been saying dude forever. I love it. Susan. Glenn says bra's Hawaiian slang. Well, it might be, but it's now kid slang.
Yeah. Now it's
a lot of younger people slang.
And they don't mean it disrespectful, I don't think.
And I think it also depends on the little group of people who you're in.
That's true too.
That's why it's impossible not to offend anybody at some point in your normal daily life. It is. It's just impossible.
It is. For sure. And that's why, like, you just gotta, like when people text people or you talk on the phone and you can't see somebody's expression, whether it's an email, a text, a phone call, sometimes you don't see their expression and they may not mean anything by it. And if you were in person, you could say, oh, they were kind of chuckling about it. So, yeah. And, then Lori says, I said, thanks, guys, once at the library. It was a trans person, and I said it to, not even thinking, and I got the angry stare and whispers as I walked away. Yeah, guys is something that I say. I've learned that in our country, you either say y'all or guys. And even Missouri split in half. The top of Missouri is guys, and the bottom half of Missouri is y'all. So but some people do get more offended by guys since it's a man. So for a while where I worked before, I would stop calling people guys and would say y'all, and they weren't offended. But if I said, hey guys, they were
See,
offended.
that's ridiculous.
But they were offended.
People need to get over themselves. Stop
Mhm.
being so sensitive. This culture has become oversensitized. That's why this
For
show
sure.
started, because of oversensitized society.
Mhm.
What do you mean? What are you calling me? It's like, come on, are you kidding me? Give me a break.
Yeah,
Like, grow up already. How old are you?
that's right. That's right. But people of all ages, doesn't matter the age anymore.
Heather
You
says,
wanna
I just don't give a shit anymore.
That's good. The older you get, you don't give a shit. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. We encourage you to go to the chat line.
The chat line is
it's all
cracking
today
me
is
up.
yeah, it's a great topic it turned into today.
Yeah, and the chat line is fantastic.
Yeah, so continue to share your experiences, your shows, whatever you want. I mean, maybe it's one of those things. If you guys, we know we have listeners, or at least we have one or two, I think we've seen it, where they're actually married. The woman is a conservative, the male is a liberal, but they had been that way for a long time.
Well, and then I think it could
And
work because you have a history.
And she used to be a liberal.
Yeah,
that became
makes
a
sense.
conservative over time.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's understandable. If you've been married forever, you can probably weather those little political things. It's just today new that would be really hard.
Paul says, I lived in the South for 22 years. It's y'all for me.
Y'all, yeah. Well, if you get Paula going, you can tell her accent for sure.
Oh my God. Okay. I think I did hear this. Glenn says, by the way, when it comes to terminology, and you never know where we're going to go with the show and everything. Airline industry wants to change the name of the cockpit to the flight deck now.
Oh, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't call it a cockpit? Why?
I don't know. You tell me, Lizzie.
Well, I don't know why, but I guess that has to be a liberal that is just preoccupied with their anatomy. That's what I'm going to say without even having to say that much. They are preoccupied. That had to be a liberal because they are preoccupied with body parts. Chopping them off, playing with them, talking about them, dressing them up.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That is awesome.
Because
I looked up why it's called a cockpit. It says it comes from from cock, which is an old English term for a small boat or a swain.
Yeah,
which is a servant.
I heard this before. Dennis says, so stupid. My son's a pilot for Southwest. He laughs about it all.
I would definitely real loud when I walk on a plane, would not call it a flight deck. I'd be like, I love that cockpit.
Oh my God.
I would. I'd be like, that's the best looking cockpit I've ever seen.
I know. I mean, we're not, it's, where do we go? We just, one thing leads to the next, to the next, to the next.
Sure, you got a spacious cockpit.
We talked about it with Kathy Helbig.
And the Donna says the venue now has to either have a ball pit or a boob pit.
Yeah. No, and of course,
I'm going to go back to the boob pit. You
no
go
more.
To the cockpit.
There's no more master bedroom. It's now primary bedroom. We talked about that with Kathy Helbig.
Yes.
With real estate when she was on the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to say it, Todd. Whatever.
Well, I'm going to say it. That's a huge cockpit.
Lizzie, Heather says you just like to say the word cock, and there.
I just like to say all the words that make people squirm. It really makes me.
And
really
Glenn
happy.
says now back to COVID.
Yeah, that's right.
I was just thinking, the principal's assistants in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
When you were saying the word dude, I was like, I couldn't not hear her say.
That's right.
He's a righteous dude.
He's a righteous dude. And speaking of Ferris Bueller, say to a group of kids that have never seen it, if your kids don't listen to me, I literally say to my kids, Bueller, anyone. And they didn't know what I was talking about, but
Bueller.
they've now seen it.
Bueller.
What was the guy's name that played that teacher? Wasn't he a huge liberal Nixon fan?
Yeah, I
don't know.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was a great movie, a really great movie.
Yeah, we talked about it. No more Boy Scouts. I know. What gets going on with everything.
Well, because in Boy Scouts, they no longer care if you have balls or not. They don't.
Yeah, they're the United America Scouts.
Yeah,
or something
like that.
I'm like,
Scouting of America is what it was called.
Scouting of America.
And you know what? That's great. You can Scout of America, whatever. But I'm just telling you, my children briefly did scouting, and it was all just, you could tell it was going liberal back then. I mean, it was so weird. So weird. My husband's an Eagle Scout, and he was so proud of it. And so we really tried to do scouting with my oldest three. And we were just like, oh, we can't do this. We just cannot do this. Mm-hmm.
Bueller proof 80s movies were the best. Of course,
They were the best.
80s.
Yeah.
80s. We've talked about it quite a bit. This is cancelthisshow.com. We'll give our advertisers some publicity right now because we appreciate them. We're great for them. We're grateful for them, and they're great for us, and they'll be great for you. And that is Complete Auto Body Repair, our main show sponsor. 314-731-7999. 314-731-7999. CompleteAB.com. Once again, CompleteAB.com. Anything with your car, if something goes wrong, anything from A to Z, take it in. They're going to look at them. Let them know you're from Cancel This. That helps us. They're also going to give you the best service they possibly can. They have tons of jobs available too. They're not going to nickel dime you. It's a great company to work for as well. All of these opportunities exist with Complete Auto Body Repair. 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Look them up, CompleteAB.com. But let them know that you appreciate them advertising on CancelThisShow.com. All right, when it comes to law, when it comes to accidents, when it comes to those situations, David Gregory is the attorney to go to when it comes to any PI case, because he is the conservative injury lawyer. David Gregory, conservativeinjurylawyer.com, conservativeinjurylawyer.com. His phone number is 314-619-4230. Why should you give Dave a call before you sign with anybody if you've been in an accident or have any sort of a personal injury case? If you're wondering about a case, you got to give him a call and let him know you're with Cancel This. You do that because Dave is going to knock off a percentage if you say cancel this. And he is proving, and he will show you how his average return is bigger than anybody else's. Why? Because he's been doing it for a long time. He's an accountant who has written state law in the state of Missouri, but he's also licensed in 7 other states, and he's a former state rep, and he's running for state senate. He's connected. He is very connected. And by the way, I used him not once, but twice. Best call I ever made, David Gregory, 314-619-4230. You can also find him at conservativeinjurylawyer.com. Once again, conservativeinjurylawyer.com. We also want to give a shout out to WeQuipUSA.com. It's the website where connects people where they can rent products to others who don't want to buy or don't own something that they need, but they can rent it for a day, a week, a month, whatever be the case. And you can also get connected with somebody that you want to maybe rent products for, make some cash on the side. It's an awesome idea. WeQuipUSA.com. They rent rooms as well. Check them out on the website, WeQuipUSA.com. And of course, Winty's, our partners who we love, respect, hang out with. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, Winty's in Defiance. You're going to find amazing food. You get all the drinks that you want, whether you're drinking alcoholic drinks or not. Great service, great time, great people, and entertainment. More entertainment than you can even imagine on the weekends at both places. Chesterfield Valley and Defiance, Missouri. Chesterfield Valley and Defiance, Missouri. This is Cancel This, CancelThisShow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, and Pro Joe in the house as we are here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, all the time on our website, CancelThisShow.com. Well over 400 episodes now. I think we're hitting, 405 now? We're getting into that frame. We are doing everything that we can to continue to move forward. We are grateful for those advertisers and sponsors. And of course, we're always looking for more. So if you know of anybody that we should contact or let them know, let us know so we can continue to do what we're doing. We are grateful for all the support that we get. Before I can even say what we do here. So is Costner a Democrat?
I know. A lot of people want to know that. I don't know.
And that whole conversation started because Alan Reacher, who I love as an actor because I love him in the Reacher series, made some comments about he maybe being liberal or Democrat. Then I know that some conservatives were very angry with that. Mm-hmm. That kind of got us all going. Costner, liberal or Democrat?
I think he is a liberal.
And does it matter?
But he doesn't really get really political.
And you have the fact that we have to ask and know, or to try to know, maybe that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. That is a good thing. I think it's great if you are an entertainer and you don't talk about politics. That's our escape. I really don't. I don't blame them because they have big platforms.
But do you like it when you see actors or entertainers or athletes who are conservative promoting conservative causes?
It depends. Honestly, it depends. If they say it and they say it really strongly to try to prove a point, I don't. Not because I don't agree with everything that they're saying. It's the one thing that you can go to is entertainment, music, and sports, I think needs to be politic free. And yes, and I secretly probably go, oh, I'm glad I like him a little better.
That's human nature.
Yeah.
I looked it up, and apparently he supported Dick Cheney and Booty Juice.
Okay. And Megan says
Dick Cheney and booty juice?
Yeah.
That's
Pete
interesting.
Buttigieg. Plus, Megan says he's a big donor to Tunnels of Tower. You can be liberal and still support military men and women who've come back and been hurt.
Well, and like Peg was saying, if he was a blue dog Democrat, they're not as offensive to me than today's liberal. They're not, because back then Democrats were for the working man, often police officers, firefighters, the union worker, that sort of thing. That's different to me than a progressive liberal. It really is. And now I know it's hard to be, there really is no such thing as a blue dog Democrat these days. But I think people who are that still believe that their Democrat Party hasn't left them. They're delusional. That's what they think.
Maybe it could be happening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as we get into this debate, which is coming up tomorrow night.
That's right.
I find this interesting. Can you talk about what Bendy put together? And I wanted to show this.
I can. Joe, if you would pop that up. So Bendy King, who is a good friend of the show and a very good friend of ours, and she's always on the chat line, she made Joe Biden's debate bingo card. So while you're watching the debate, and these answers came from you guys. So Bendy asked not only on the chat line, she asked on, and if you're not on it, we have a private page called the Cancel This Outpost page. So after the show, people are posting things all day long, communicating on that page. And these answers got to Bendy King. And so she made a bingo card. So that night, just for fun, you can, anything that this is saying, you can then just cross off the bingo and just know that you either submitted that or one of your friends here at Cancel This. It's the listeners who submitted that. So that should be a lot of fun, because we know that the debate in and of itself probably isn't going to change anybody's mind. Democrats.
I'm looking at some of the answers.
Yes.
This is really good, Bendy and people.
I'm going to guess it's going to be a full card night.
Yeah, it's going to be a full card night. So I highly recommend that you see it, but you can also look on the Cancel This Outpost page, or you can DM Bendy or myself, and we can send you the card. So that night, we're going to be like, we're not having a particular place to go, because so many of our listeners said they want to be at the quality of their own home, drinking their beer, doing whatever. But we will be chatting
These
off
are
and
great
on.
suggestions.
Aren't they great? So you can chat with each other on the Cancel This Outpost page.
I want to go ahead and say some of these. Threat to democracy, path to citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
He whispers.
Yes.
Gun violence. He says not a joke.
He says it a lot.
I don't
It's not a
remember
joke.
him
Or he'll go, oh, for real. This is for real. He says it's not a joke a lot.
Okay. What about
It's not a joke, man.
It's not a joke, man.
Women's health care.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Oh, climate change crisis. The economy is growing. Student loan forgiveness. Trump is a convicted felon.
That's a gimme.
He freezes.
Mm-hmm.
Is he gonna? I don't think he's going to freeze. I don't think he's going to freeze tomorrow night.
That's Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, he may not, because I think they will have him on a bunch of Joe juice. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
Millions of jobs created. He yells, immigration system is broken. Yeah, he says that now.
Yeah, he does.
Come on, man. Laughs, reduced insulin cost, folds hands slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Bipartisan.
Mm-hmm.
This is the United States of America. Scratches his forehead. What's that say? Junior Doug, the bottom line, Doug Flip.
Doug Phelps.
Doug flip it.
Oh, somebody's. I did it too.
That's what it is.
With the people.
Uh-huh.
Scratches his nose. There's nothing we can't do.
These are great. These are great, you guys. You guys did a great job submitting these to Bendy. I love it. I love it so much.
Maybe can we save the card and we'll bring it back up tomorrow?
Yeah, bring it up tomorrow. Definitely bring it up again tomorrow, guys. Yeah, that's so great. So if you want to know where you can converse with people during that, is go on our Cancel This Outpost page. And if you are not already a member of that, it is a private group. We accept almost everybody there. And I have not accepted a few that have just been nasty, but the most everybody has.
And that's saying something coming from you.
Yeah, because I can literally stomach almost everything. I think there's only been 2 I haven't accepted. And so you can just get on there and talk with each other.
Oh, that could have been
night.
one too. I'm proud of my son, Hunter.
Oh, that would have been a good one too. I'm proud of my son. Yeah, that's awesome.
Lori says this is the one time where I wish I wasn't a recovering alcoholic.
Right.
No,
right.
I get it.
Well, that's all right. You can drink anything and have a great time. I don't know that I'll be drinking tomorrow night either. Having to get up the next morning, but I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So be very active on the Cancel This Outpost page. Vinny will be there. I'll be there. So
Hillary Clinton's come out and she said that Biden needs to be direct and hard with Trump. I'm like, okay, whatever. And we joked about Trump asking people how he should act.
That's right.
Donald Trump just needs to be about policy.
That's it.
Just stick to policy.
That's right.
He already and even CNN is admitting that this is in the bag for Joe Biden. They're admitting it on theirs that Donald. They're basically ripping Trump for agreeing to their own terms to do this debate. They're saying that publicly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why I'm like, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening at this point in time.
Yeah.
It is happening.
It is. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's definitely going to happen. I know some people are saying at the last minute. I don't think so. Did you know we all have been speculating about what's been going on there because none of us know for sure. But his campaign did report that 16 staffers have been prepping him. 16. That's craziness. Can you imagine? Donald Trump is out all week doing Donald Trump things, rallies, whatever. And then you've got Sleepy Joe there probably getting pumped up with whatever. And I'm just calling it Joe juice because I don't know what they're putting in there. And they're pumping him up with Adderall and probably making him the State of the Union Joe, the angry Joe. And 16 people have been prepping him. They've been practicing with him. So that does, without trying to just be mean, that shows they've got the questions. You know it.
Jeannie says, I heard 27 people were trying to help him.
Okay, well, maybe. Yeah.
It takes 16 people to put a stick up his butt to prop him up.
Yeah.
And
That's probably true.
Trump brought it up again late last night where he's like, I'll agree to a drug test. Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
What do we have to lose? The Biden camp refusing to do it right now.
Well, of course, because he is so jacked up on stuff. And I understand that nobody wants to be drug tested and have your rights,
Oh my God.
But that's not why Joe Biden
give me a break.
is doing it. He's doing it because, well, his handlers are saying no to a drug test because they know what they got in his system.
RFK Jr. is also holding a debate counter-programming situation during the debate tomorrow night too, because he was not allowed to be on the stage with them.
Yeah.
I think it would have been an issue. I do. I'd like to see him there, but it would be just totally messed up. Who are you wanting
to see?
RFK Jr.
Oh, RFK Jr. Well, you know why? Okay, I think, my opinion is I think he should have been there as the independent, but all in the years past, you have to have a certain percentage, and he didn't meet that percentage, whatever that percentage is. But I would have liked to have seen him there. I thought it would have been great.
My friend attended his rally in Philadelphia, said there were a few people yelling out nasty stuff and they were thrown out.
Good. Good.
Interesting.
Good.
RFK isn't on their ballot yet either. That is correct.
Yeah, that is true too.
Yeah.
That is true.
And, Fox News was breaking down, with a debate expert, what each candidate should do, what Trump should do tomorrow night. We wanted to play that for you on the Jesse Waters Show, just to give you an idea of what people feel. I think you have your own ideas of what would be advantageous for Donald Trump to talk about, to try not to talk about, what's going to be the first question, those sorts of things. Here it is. We'll play a little bit of this for you and let you get an idea of what's going on.
Debate won't be a one-on-one match. It's going to be a Royal Rumble.
Remember that this time around, Trump's going to be also debating Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. He's going to try to take swipes at the press, the fake news, and all of that. So he's actually going to be debating 3 people there on that table.
Brinkley's right. CNN has a history of moderators putting their fingers on the scales during debates. In 2012, Candy Crowley fact-checked Mitt Romney's best line about Obama, and she was wrong.
It took the president 14 days before he called the attack in Benghazi an act of terror.
Get the transcript.
He did, in fact, sir. So let me call it an act of terror.
Can you say that a little louder, Candy?
He did call it an act of terror.
No, he didn't. That was Romney's hardest punch of the night, and she blocked it for the Messiah. So what's going to happen on Thursday? Are the moderators going to Candy Crowley Trump? They're fair and balanced, right?
For tens of millions of our fellow Americans, their long national nightmare is over.
The President of the United States and the fact that he went to that rally and called for and incited violence.
You're being obsequious. You're being a factotum in order to please him. Okay.
No.
And I think I've wasted enough of my viewers' time. Thank you, Stephen. As Republicans, lawmakers call for Attorney General Jeff Sessions to resign.
Insults, invective, and outright lies. That's what we heard from Donald Trump in Iowa this weekend.
Donald Trump is charged with a series of federal felonies for mishandling the most sensitive government documents that we have.
The folks in the control room, I don't need to see any more of that. He's trying to turn this in. He's trying to turn it into a spectacle, into a campaign ad. That's enough of that.
But you're not allowed to mention the moderators on CNN. They'll drop you faster than a live Trump presser.
It takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently, frequently likened President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point.
Trump campaign press secretary Caroline Levin
and they
joins us
couldn't
now.
break, so we
Caroline,
can get out right there. You see what he's walking into.
That's right. He's walking straight into that, and
he knows it.
He knows it. He knows it. And so you had said yesterday, and I think you're right, that the debate really isn't going to do anything for people. And the debate, Donald Trump doing it, it's not going to help him in any way. This is pure entertainment is what this is going to be, because everybody that I know is watching it. Everybody's going to be, hunkered down somewhere at a bar, somewhere in their home. All of us are going to be in our homes doing Bindi King's, bingo card, and we're going to be watching it. But you know what the interesting thing is? They're going to be so rude to Donald Trump. They're going to be so rude. But the best place, like Donna's saying, the best place to watch is on Right Side Broadcast.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
Yeah, that's you just get on.
Why
your
are you
phone.
such a fan of that?
Because they don't censor anything. And I'm just being truthful here. I am a big Trump supporter. So they run everything he does, every rally, every speech, everything, and they do it unedited. And the thing that I love is they show the crowds. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to show the crowds here, because that's something that they're not allowed to do, because there isn't going to be one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be broadcasted everywhere. It makes me chuckle, because CNN is the one that's broadcasting it, but everyone else is going to simulcast it too. I mean, so you can literally see it everywhere. So it's going to be, it's just go at it knowing it's pure entertainment. Go at it hoping that, which I can't believe there's people like this, but the ones on the fence, they could go either way, that Donald Trump looks presidential. Now, I love it when he's not, but there's a lot of people that are on the fence that don't. So if he just sticks to the questions.
Where can Brenda find Right Side Broadcasting?
Right Side Broadcasting.
Just had it up.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Put it back up, Joe. If you go on Facebook and you just type in Right Side Broadcasting.
Well, this is their website.
And they have a website.
rsbnetwork.com.
What'd you say? rsbnetwork.com.
Yes.
So yes. And so I am assuming, I don't have an answer to that. I'm assuming if you go to that on your computer, that you'll be able to find it, or it'll direct you. But if you're on a computer or a phone and you go straight on Facebook, it streams on their Facebook page. And a lot of people use Facebook. So yeah. And like Paul is saying, it won't be a debate. It's just a Joe fest. That's what it's going to be. And we all know, all conservatives know, that anybody that's liberal or anybody that's mainstream media, they're going to say that Joe Biden did great, because, as Vic often says, the bar has been set so low for him that if he just doesn't fall off the stage, and if he just doesn't go more than a couple times, it's a win for Joe. And Trump, if he does anything, whether he gets agitated a little bit, whether he acts strong at all, they're going to call him the Orange Man Bully.
No, RSBN will not be allowed to stream it, though.
They're not?
No, I don't think they're allowed to stream it. I do not think they're allowed to stream it. If somebody thinks that I'm wrong, I do not think that CNN is allowing them to do that.
Okay, so on their website, under the tab Upcoming Live Events, it says live Trump campaign host Oh, okay. Black American business leaders. Okay.
Maybe they're not. Then maybe I'm wrong.
I do not think that they are allowed.
So CNN is going to be the only one watching, because I thought Fox even said they were simulcasting it. So that's interesting. If anybody has an answer to that,
yeah, we're trying to get answers.
Yeah, give us an answer, because always these things are on OAN, Newsmax. I could have sworn I saw last night.
I hope so.
That Fox said they were simulcasting it.
Okay, but
so what does that mean?
Are you allowed to have political commentary at the same time?
No.
Okay.
No.
That might be what I heard.
Yeah.
You can't have the commentary going on.
Yeah, I don't think there can be any commentary. I did hear what I thought I heard Fox say last night was they were simulcasting it with no commentary. Like they're not allowed to say anything. Only CNN is.
Yeah, that's what I meant was the commentary.
Yeah. So is ABC. Like Jay is saying, Fox is simulcasting it. ABC is doing it.
We ran that story yesterday.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure Right Side Broadcasting would be doing it, but maybe I'm wrong.
I have a question though. Can we do that after the fact? Like, can we do like a rebroadcast and commentary on it at that time?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Just not live. So say if we did it the next day and we had a lot, which I'm sure we will have a lot of opinions on this, you can comment till your heart's content. It's just that CNN has all the rights to it. So people are saying they're simulcasting it. They just can't have anybody talking about it. Now, I'm sure at the end they can, just not during.
I'm wondering if CNN is going to, like, if when we start playing clips from this thing, if they're going to block some of them.
Probably. But that's why I always go to like OAN or Right Side Broadcasting, because even OAN that I like, sometimes talk through it.
Wish you could have the commentary. Damn.
Yeah, but you can't. You cannot have the commentary.
We want to show you this clip too, though, as we get ready for the debate tomorrow night. And I think it was appropriate to show today too, because you don't know if Joe Biden says lies, are the CNN crew going to say anything about it? Are they going to stop it? Well, we don't know yet in time. We don't know this. Case in point, going back to the 2020 election, when they had the debate, and it was the disaster debate, Biden flat out lied about Hunter's laptop. Said it was Russia disinformation. But it's interesting how mainstream media just forgot about it, and why I say you have to have the scorecard. But it just reminds us of these two on the stage together and what we'll see tomorrow night. And obviously some of the lies that can be said as well.
I'll tell you what, I hope he does look at me, because what's happening here is, you know who I am, you know who he is, you know his character, you know my character, you know our reputations for honor and telling the truth. I am anxious to have this race. I am anxious to see this take place. The character of the country is on the ballot. Our character is on the ballot. Look at us closely.
Let me ask some follow-up. Please respond, and then we're going to have follow-up questions.
If this stuff is true about Russia, Ukraine, China, other countries, Iraq, if this is true, then he's a corrupt politician. So don't give me the stuff about how you're this innocent baby. Joe, they're calling you a corrupt politician.
Nobody.
President Trump, I want to stay on the issue of race. We're talking about the issue.
Laptop from hell.
President Trump, we're talking about race right now, and I do want to stay on the issue of race. President Trump,
I have to respond to that.
Please,
because look,
very quickly.
There are 50 former national intelligence folks.
Here it is.
Who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has all the 5 former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rudy Giuliani.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
Is this where you're going? This is where he's going. The laptop is Russia,
Gentlemen,
Russia.
I want to stay on the issue of race.
You have to be kidding. Here we go again with Russia.
We're going to continue on the issue of race. Mr. President, you've described.
Okay, you see what's going on with that situation, what happened. Many people forget about it. Heck, until I watched the whole thing, I had forgotten about part of it.
Yeah, I did too.
But once again, it was allowed. He flat out lied, and now it has all been debunked. Those 50 intelligence officers were lying. It was all a hoax. The laptop is real. The laptop has been recently entered in as evidence as being real. And here we are once again going into it, another debate with CNN hosting. Once again, I say this is why I do not like Donald Trump doing this. And Megan reminds everybody that's why those 50 need to be held accountable for lying and flat out knowing that they were lying when they signed their names to the document.
That's right. They should be held accountable. They're not going to be, but they should be. And Brenda was saying on the chat line, he really did sound better there. I mean, I still thought
he sounded better, but he's still slurred.
He's still slurred. And you could tell even then he was having issues. And he's so much worse now.
Oh, it's only gotten worse since then.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's gotten so much worse. So, I mean, literally the debate is not for content. When you're watching the debate, we're not going to see whose policy is which. We already know their policies. We're literally going to be watching if liberals are going to be watching if Orange Man goes rogue is what they're going to say. And we're going to be watching for all the times Joe Biden slurs his words.
Yeah, and I don't know what I'm watching for. And Terry says that clip should be all over the media as we head into tomorrow night. It was a proven lie, but you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it because the media does what they do. The media controls what they control. Yes, he has a speech impediment from the chat line. This is canceltheshow.com here Monday through Friday.
Really, that's an excuse.
8 to 10 a.m. Central all the time on our website, canceltheshow.com. We love it when you jump in on the platforms, which are X, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, CloudHub. That just angers me. It pisses me off when I see that lie and the media refuses to talk about it.
Does the speech impediment get worse in time?
Oh, yeah, she was joking.
She was joking because they always say, you're just making fun of his stutter. Right. He's just stuttering. And I'm like, come on. I mean, these people think we're stupid. They think our eyes don't see things and they think our brains don't go all the way up.
No, they're telling us not to believe our eyes and our brains.
That's right.
We heard that from KJP told us that.
Yeah.
Cheap fakes, deep fakes.
Yeah,
what you are seeing is really not what you're seeing. You need to trust us. Do not trust yourself. Yeah, these are problems. These are issues.
Yeah, don't trust yourself, people. Absolutely. Wake up in the morning, just turn on your TV like a little robot and go, Joe Biden is great. The laptop was never real. That's what we need to say. That's what they want us to say. They want us to not believe our own minds.
Well, the other thing that Trump said coming into this debate tomorrow night, and he said this last night, he told Newsmax, he's like, just listen, my whole life is debate prep. I don't need to go sequester myself for 7 days. And this is what I've been saying. He gives us the policy. He gives us his answer. He gives us the situation. He gives us a solution. His whole life is what he is living on a daily basis. You don't go not do your job for a week and go to Camp David and sit in there and hide, which leads us. This is what Trump is doing. Yeah, it's the real leader. It's the real guy. And it leads us to the new reports that are coming out as well. If you haven't heard, are we really surprised by this report that Obama is getting very frustrated? Because you do know he's the puppet master.
Yep. He's the marionette.
Frustrated and irritated with Biden's lack of intelligence and his lack of cognizance to be able to handle the situations.
Wait, where did that come from?
Several reports.
Yeah, several reports. Fox had
a story on it where information is now being released. More and more meetings. Why is the ex-president coming in? Why is he even needed? Why is he in the DC area? Why is he showing up at more and more campaign events? Why is it almost as if he's the president and Joe's the vice president? Because they know it's getting to the point where it's too big to be rigged and they've got to try to turn the tide. Nobody comes out for Joe. They just don't. At the functions where Obama is coming, more and more people are coming. Not for Joe, because they know this is a big time blunder just waiting to happen.
Yeah. And Fox has reported that Obama has anxiety, is the word they're saying, over the election. And he's holding secret meetings with Biden to strategize on beating Trump. And that is people are acting like this is a shocker because they haven't really seen, Obama, as I call him, but he's been doing this the whole time. But of course, the reason why Obama's having anxiety is he's enjoyed his third term. He has enjoyed, having the country destroyed and blaming it on Joe. So he just thought that Joe could easily, get reelected so he could have a fourth term. So he's there all the time now. having these private meetings. And you know what? And they're saying because Obama has a legacy, and his legacy got ruined by Trump. And he thinks that even though he doesn't like Joe Biden, supposedly, that he at least has his legacy living on. And what's his legacy? Ruining America? Communist sort of things that he's doing, policies that are Marxism, opening up the border, raising our taxes, letting illegals kill people. That's Obama's legacy.
Obama looks really old too, according to Jeannie.
He does look really old right now.
Jeannie says 4th term.
For sure.
Obama stopped coloring his hair.
Yeah.
He does not make him look wiser.
No, he doesn't look wiser.
Yeah, I started. When Megan told me to stop coloring my hair, then I got grayer, and you have to get used to it.
Well, I like it. I do think people look wise with gray hair, especially men.
Marrying Michael, coming from Paul.
One of Obama's friends told the Fox outlet that while his anxiety about the election is real, the former president's concerns fall in line with the opinions of other top Democrats.
Yeah, do you think? Oh, you don't have to be the brain surgeon to figure out Biden can't handle. He can't handle his ice cream cone.
That's right.
From the chat line, Robert says, yes, Obama should be worried. If the Supreme Court strikes down executive privilege, he may need Biden for cover. Same for Hillary. Same for Bill. Chris says, I honestly hate that phrase, too big to be rigged. It leads to complacency. We need to have the mindset that we're down by 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th with 2 on and 2 out. We can't let our foot off the gas. No, I agree.
I agree with Chris, because I've said it's too big to rig too.
But
and
it's
I said
also
it last time,
but
and I need to stop it.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Meaning that should be more positive. It's not where it's too big to rig, meaning, hell yes, we're all going out in support. And it's a positive approach. It's not where, like, man, we're scared. We got to get out there.
Yeah.
No, it's a positive. It's too big to rig. We're picking up mass. We're that train rolling down the track. We're picking up steam. We're that snowball that became a boulder, that became an avalanche. Join the crowd. Here we go. We're going to make sure it doesn't ever stop.
Well, I hope that's true. I really do. Because if they don't have election interference and mail-in ballots and all that stuff, it is too big to rig. It was too big to rig in 2020, and people even more so like him now.
Todd says, don't forget the red wave never came.
It didn't come
during the midterms. But here's the thing also about that. Those elections are always
lower,
very much lower.
They are.
And I think media knew that, and they hyped it up.
I think so too.
They hyped it up big time. So I'm not going for that.
That's right. And they are a lot lower because even conservatives, they don't care about that as much. And they don't even care about school board elections. And a lot of people just want to come out they might come out for a presidential primary, but these other midterms, they don't. And you'll see the August election for all of the things for governors and for senators, that will be a lot lower than the November election. It just is. It just is. Hardcore people vote there, but there's a lot of people that make up the election that aren't hardcore. They love Donald Trump. They love his economy, but they don't vote in a primary.
It makes sense. Even the biggest freight train can get derailed by complacency and dereliction of duty. Of course it can. The Trump supporters I know, and the people now are like, they get it. This country needs
yes,
Trump. We have to do our part. We have, especially after everything that's been done to Trump. This is unprecedented.
That's right.
That's why I do believe that we shouldn't act scared. We should act confident.
Absolutely.
Confident in every form of the word.
You betcha.
It is interesting. Todd says, I don't know, but there's a huge Cori Bush banner staring at me at the Quick Trip on Lilac right now.
I saw those too, Todd, when I was there in the city over the weekend.
Jeannie says, I saw a poll this morning that said Trump and Biden are tied at 46%. What a joke. It also depends
it's a joke.
Yeah, it is, on where the polling came from as well. Trust me, that is not true. Trust me, it is fabricated. It is all a joke. Speaking of Cori, to make sure that we get all of that in there, a squad member, Jamal Bowman, got blasted out of the Wilderness primary yesterday.
That was great.
He's the guy that pulled the fire alarm, then tried to lie about it so that they couldn't vote in Congress. Then he tried to come out and act like he was so smart and, but I would never do that. Well, Then he was out campaigning with AOC, making a fool of himself.
Cursing and carrying on, and they had to apologize.
Yeah, the New York Post had this picture of Bowman, who got blasted. And this is big. I mean, this is one of the squad members having to cash a check.
That's right.
Firing squad, a la the fire bell or that he did. The anti-Israel, Jamel Bowman of AOC's Progressive Caucus gets kicked out of Congress. He lost to another Democrat, a white man in that area, and see you later. He thought it was really funny doing what he did, and AOC looks like a fool. Is this the first of more?
I hope so.
Is Cori Bush next?
I think Wesley kicks her.
AOC did survive, by the way, in her voting yesterday. So she survived.
Yeah, she did. I was really sad to see that, but I figured she was going to survive, you know, because her district really likes her. But Bowman, the guy that he was going up, is not. The biggest thing is the guy that won, I can't remember what his name is, but he was pro-Israel. And that area has a lot of Jewish people in it. And Bowman was so pro-Palestinian. So that's what did him in his district. But it didn't matter in AOC's district.
No, it didn't.
No.
Not where she was, or she just had more popularity.
Yeah.
I don't know how after her performance the other day on stage, but
that's right. Well, we even have a video, Joe, if you want to play just a brief little bit of it. If it's of Bowman. And it was so funny because everybody apparently hates him. Apparently, even the Democrats hate him. And this was posted and it said, oh, we're going to really miss our hallway chats. Go ahead and play it, Joe.
Children at all, cowards, pressure them, force them to respond to the question, why the hell won't you do anything to save America's children? And let them explain that all the way up until election day on 2024. Let them explain it all the way up to election day on 2024. They're freaking cowards. They're gutless. They're not here. I'm talking about gun violence.
You know, there's never been
I'm talking about gun
in
violence.
a school that allows teachers to carry.
Carry guns?
Would you
More guns lead to more death. More guns lead to more death. Look at the data. You're not looking at any data. You're carrying the water for the gun.
I've heard enough of him.
Yeah, I had too. I just wanted
He's
to
a
show
jackass. He's a
that's
loser.
how he treats.
Yeah, and that's it. Louder wins because I'm going to yell louder. Oh my
Kevin
God.
says,
I'm going to talk
"Sit down,
over
clown.
you.
Sit down, clown." That's why he lost. It's not even all of his policies. This is how he shouts at everyone, even Democrats. He shouts at other Democrats like that. So see you later, dude. Even the Democrats were happy to see him go.
My God. My God. My God. My God. My God. Well, I don't know if Democrats are happy to see him go unless they want the squad to go.
I think the average Democrat.
And I do think Corey's going to get beat.
Yeah, I think the average Democrats have realized the squad are embarrassing. They don't understand policy. They're not even very smart. Heck, one of them even married her brother. And so these people are not legit. And so a lot of people already know the Democrats are just progressive left and hate our country, but they're embarrassing even to the Democrats. If I am a betting woman, I would guess little by little, these people go away.
From the chat line, Greg says, if both Biden and Trump were equally skilled as a pilot, which plane are you getting on? You know what plane you're getting on.
You know which one. I'm going to go into the cockpit of a conservative. That's what I'm going to do.
Jay feels the squad has held the party maybe hostage for too long.
Oh, I think so too. I agree.
And did this whole Jewish hate, the crime upon innocent Jews in America, is that leading to people voting in those places?
Yes.
I don't know.
Who knows? And Robert said the squad was held in check by Pelosi money, and now that's changed. I mean, and they're just kind of crazy. And I think it seemed great for Democrats for a while because the Democrat Party, and so did the Republican, got to be just these stodgy old men, and they just wanted to liven it up and bring in the youth. Well, these people, they're dumb. I mean, they really are dumb. And all they do is scream and yell and carry on and talk about how they hate Jewish people. And they're embarrassing. I think they're embarrassing even your average Democrat.
Megan says the left does not care. Jews are still voting for Biden.
Yeah, they are.
And
yeah, they are.
I know a personal Jew super intelligent man who's still voting for Biden.
Yeah, that's dumb.
And that's, you know what, that's, I don't know. That's something he's got to live with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he thinks he's so smart, and people around him think he's so smart because in his specific profession, he's very good.
Yeah.
But when it comes to politics and God, it just checks off. It just checks off right there. Yeah, I wish there was another way. We just got a comment saying that Rumble comments need a voice.
Yeah, I'm talking to him right now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I am talking to him right now because they are like, somebody on Rumble right now said, I think the average Democrat have left the party already. And that was probably in comment to what I was saying, that I said the average Democrat finds him embarrassing too. But you know what? The comment on the Rumble chat line is right. Probably the average Democrat isn't a Democrat anymore. They moved over to the right side of things. So I guess maybe it isn't an average Democrat. It's just some of the Democrats that are even still progressive liberal have even had it with the squad because they're getting shut down. People forget in politics, personalities come out and people will base things on personality rather than policy. And even if you're both two liberals, but you're getting shot down and you don't ever have a voice, then even the liberal is tired of the squad because the squad never shuts up. They don't. They just never shut up.
In better news, check out these new tennis shoes. Remember the old gold Trump high tops that were out there?
Yes.
Well, allegedly, there's a new pair. You can try to find these shoes. Everybody knows these are. I love these.
I think I need a pair for sure.
I love the flag.
Me too.
With the MAGA on it, a little bit more than the one with the Trump face. But man, those are really cool.
They are great.
I think that's outside and inside. I think.
Oh, it's the same shoe. Yeah, it is. Holy crap! Isn't that a damn cool shoe?
Yeah, it is. I like it a lot.
It is pretty cool.
I would so wear those.
Does that say 47 and 49?
Probably 45 and 47.
I mean, 45 and 47. Yeah, that's of course.
45 and 47.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. And you know what? When he
look at those shoes,
the fact that he's not 45 and 46, the fact that he's 45 and 47 is such a Trump thing. He literally thinks out of the box. So this is going to be
if
great.
anybody, I saw those this morning. If anybody knows where to find those or how to get those, I may like those better than the gold high tops.
Yeah, those are a little less flashy. The gold high tops remind me.
I just don't wear high tops. I like those gold ones, but these I would wear every day. Because I love wearing blue and red and white. I just love it. So that could go with anything. And you know what? We were just talking about earlier that liberals are very intolerant. When they see your shoes, they would probably not be very impressed. But I would be.
Chris says Trump now has a silver high top on the same website he had the gold ones on. I'm sorry. I just want to get it out there. I don't know what the website is.
Yeah, I
would love to know what it is.
So if somebody has it, put it on the chat line and we'll say it out loud.
But those tennis shoes are so damn freaking cool.
Yeah, they're really cool looking. Even if you don't like Trump, those are really some badass.
Would it be cool to see him wear high tops or tennis shoes after the debate tomorrow night?
Wouldn't
that be cool?
I
mean, it's more accepted in society now to wear tennis shoes with suits.
But you never ever see Trump hardly without a suit.
I know.
Except for on the golf course.
He's old school New York, and I get it, and I respect it.
Yeah, he wears polos, and he'll often wear a MAGA hat, Make America Great Again hat with a suit. So maybe he could wear the red hat, a suit, whatever color tie he wears. He likes yellow ties, if you've noticed, and then wear his shoes. That'd be awesome. He wears a lot of red ties, but he wears yellow ties too.
I just would love to see him pop. You know what? He would win over independents with tennis shoes.
Just with those shoes right there.
And his suit. Joe, do you agree?
I'm actually looking to find. Yes, I agree. I'll say that, but I'm looking for the website right now.
Yeah. And Trump, and like Mitch is saying, Trump uses Truth Social. So, and that's the one platform that I love Truth Social. And so we really can't, I can't wait until we can stream our show on Truth Social, but you can't yet.
No, that's cool. It's fine. Those shoes are freaking badass. But for True Social, what do we got to get you on True Social?
They don't allow a lot of streaming on there yet. So it's not a number.
So nobody's streaming.
They don't allow any.
They don't. Yeah. It's no one can stream.
I don't even think you can post videos on there.
I don't think so either. But you know what? I don't blame them because that is the place you can go to just find out what Trump really said. So if you want to find out what
if anybody should be in there, it should be us.
Right? Right?
Look over my shoulder.
That's right. Trump is always in here with us. That's for sure.
Tennis shoes with the suit are cool, except black Converse like Zimmerman wears. I guess.
Is he talking about Zimmerman, the news guy?
The weather guy, I guess.
The weather guy. Yeah. There you go.
I agree. Trump came out. Dude, if Trump came out with some high tops, some gold, silver high tops, or those white MAGA shoes we were just showing,
and he came out
over. Joe would be like,
Joe Biden would really be.
What's he doing wearing tennis shoes? I'm scared.
I know. Wow.
It actually looks like, and I don't want to promote it, but I mean, Trump's face is on it and everything. It looks pretty legit, but it's gettrumpsneakers.com.
Get Trump, and it has those sneakers?
It has those sneakers and other styles. I can actually hear.
Gettrumpsneakers.com. And there is a Trump store. People are reminding us on the chat line that you can Google in the Trump store, and maybe they're on there.
Oh, very cool.
It is just called the Trump store.
There's other Trump merchandise like.
You know what the best cologne I ever had is several years ago. One of my daughter bought, and she doesn't make it anymore, or at least didn't during the campaign, was his daughter Ivanka's cologne. I would wear, well, it's actually perfume, and it was pretty pricey, but I wore it, and every time I had it on, people would be like, "What do you have on?" And I would love it if it was a liberal. I'd be Ivanka Trump's cologne, and they would just be
or perfume.
Or perfume. It was perfume, not cologne. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yep.
people are calling it the Trump store. To look up the Trump store.
Trump's VP candidate is going to
Yes.
allegedly be there tomorrow night as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we'll know who's all there or whatever, but that's what he said. And of course, he'll be making that announcement as the Republican National Convention is coming up. Also interesting from that standpoint. Could it be Vivek? I brought that up yesterday. He all of a sudden started getting some hype on.
Yeah, a lot.
Trump and the Trump campaign did not stop the hype machine from coming. Very, very interesting. And in the midst of all of that, we're a national show broadcast out of the St. Louis, Missouri area. In the Midwest, the state of Missouri, Vivek, I haven't seen Vivek out promoting candidates.
No, I haven't either. Not many.
Here's the.
You want to show the picture?
Yeah,
Joe?
here's the picture that Jay Ashcroft posted, that he got an endorsement from Vivek Ramaswamy.
And I think
I
that's
can't
huge.
think as a Republican in the state of Missouri, that's a bad thing right now.
No, I think that's huge. And I do know some people that do not like Vivek, but the majority of people that are very conservative really like him. So that was a really good endorsement. And anybody that would know in the Missouri race, there's quite a hotly contested, I should say the word, with three main candidates that are running. And everybody has a really big opinion on who's running. And so when he did that, that might tip some people over the edge to vote for Ashcroft than they would have Kehoe or Eigel. So I thought that was worthy of bringing that up.
I know. I'm just, can I see that again? Because I want to read his, okay. So this was Jay's tweet on X. He says the swamp isn't going to win this election for Mike Kehoe. Hashtag America First Conservatives like Vivek Ramaswamy will, ! Proud to have his support and glad to stand with him in the fight for our country.
And people started sending me that yesterday. So I went and looked at a lot of different sources because sometimes people put up things that isn't true, but this is true. He really did back Jay Ashcroft.
This is a very interesting race too.
It is a very interesting race.
I mean, you've got three all claim to be hardcore right conservative men running for an office in the state of Missouri. Which has produced, top Senate members like Josh Hawley and Eric Schmidt, who've done fantastic jobs there. Andrew Bailey, but Will Scharf, part of the running for Attorney General against Andrew Bailey, part of the Trump team. I mean, there are a ton of really good politicians coming out of the state.
Correct.
And then you have a race and I'm not trying to upset anybody, and it's hard to judge with polling.
It is
the
hard
polling
to judge.
show it being a 2-horse race, but then you have Bill Eigel, who has a ton of support throughout St. Charles community.
Right. And so there is. So like right now in the race, with all the research that I've done, Jay Ashcroft is still winning, not by much. And Mike Kehoe is coming up with a lot of money. And if you want to post this picture, Joe, there's a picture of Kehoe. All of his fundraiser type events they're huge. There's more than any of the other two. Like here's one Kehoe event that was just last night or the night before. So Kehoe has a lot of support.
Attended event.
And a lot of people where I'm from.
And he's a likable guy. All three are likable. We've had all three on the show live.
They're all three are very good candidates. But what I've noticed, a lot of people are voting based upon where they live. So where I live, a lot of people like Bill Eigel, but outside of, say, the St. Louis, St. Charles, Jeffco community, I don't see a whole lot of support. And I don't want anybody to be mad at me because I'm just speaking the truth here about Bill Eigel.
Can you repeat that again now?
Outside. Okay, so Bill Eigel has a lot of support in Jefferson County, St. Charles County, and little parts of St. Louis County. But outside of those counties, he doesn't have much support. And so he is way behind Kehoe and Ashcroft that are neck and neck. And when I researched where the money, because everybody's like, follow the money. What I found was interesting is the money for Kehoe is coming from farmers. It's coming from police agencies, firefighter agencies, and rural Missouri. That's where the money's coming. Jay Ashcroft is coming more from suburban money. Now he's got Vivek. And Vivek, that could either help you or hurt you, because I've seen people on the chat line that said that they would not vote for Ashcroft now because of Vivek.
What?
Yep, because
Stop it.
Yep,
Who said that?
Somebody on our chat line and on a different chat line, because they're concerned that this is a Christian nation. They don't want another Muslim. So I didn't say that. Someone else said that. And so, but the hardcore right people that I know, they're telling me they like Vivek. So I think that can take votes from either case. A lot of people could say Eigel because some people think he's the farthest right, but that's just in his little echo chamber. So, I mean, this is a race that if you break it down, it also comes down to who's backing you. Like Bill Eigel, his money comes mainly from out of state. Little bitty donors here in St. Charles and Jeffco, but his biggest money comes from out of state. And I have something of that, Pro Joe. If you want to show a picture, it talks about where some of Bill Eigel's money's coming from. He's got money from a lawyer group, a Missouri Ethics Commission. When I pulled that up, he's getting trial lawyers for justice, and he got $100,000, and they're out of Montana. So that, I'm just breaking it down where it is. Kehoe's getting money a lot from Missouri. Ashcroft is getting a lot from Missouri. Eigel's getting it from little pockets in St. Charles and Jeffco and out of state. And that's not me saying that. Bill Eigel will say a lot of his money comes from out of state. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Does it matter where the money comes from?
I don't know. I don't know. It does to some people. Some people really care where the money comes from because people hate lobbyists.
Well, Rex Sinkfield, who is a billionaire.
Yes.
Donor in the state of Missouri, super successful businessman. He's gotten very involved in politics.
Yeah,
he really has. And he throws
has
a lot of money out there. Different candidates, it may surprise you.
He does.
Kevin says he donated $1.2 million.
Yeah.
To Mike Kehoe.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some big donors that some people might like. That's him going to Kehoe. And then you've got a trial lawyers out of Montana giving to Bill Eigel. Now, Jay Ashcroft, he's got Vivek now, and he's got lobbyists too that are backing him, but I can't.
No, it's good information. I'm glad you brought that up, Lizzie.
Yeah, it's just to say, because every state has that, but I wanted to break that down, how serious your governor is, and no matter what state that you're in. And we're blessed here in Missouri that we have good conservatives running in a lot of things, but you just have to be careful when you look at who it is. Maybe you have to look where the money's coming, and you also have to find out, can they really legislate? Do they really
I guess
know
that's
how to
where we
legislate?
get to, because when I look at all three, if I woke up in the morning and saw this person won,
yeah,
I'd be like, okay,
yeah,
all right, I'm good with that.
I think most
because
people
I think
that.
all three of them are likable. And I think for the most part, they all want the same things that they be able to look over in the state of Missouri.
Correct.
Now, completely different from what the left has,
Mhm.
but the primary is going to decide the governor. That's going to happen over and over again.
Correct.
Brenda says she's frustrated because she thinks that Rex is trying to abolish her teacher pension.
Well, I don't think he's
know what
going to
the
be able to do
specifics-
that. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. But it's just interesting, the different groups that support people. So if you're a firefighter and a police officer, I'm going to guess you're probably, or a farmer. Every farmer that I know, they're voting for Kehoe. So if you're not a farmer or a police officer or whatever, you may not care one way or the other. If you are someone that wants your personal property tax to go away, you might want to vote for Bill Eigel. That being said, though, I'm just going to warn you that you have to get rid of income tax before you get rid of personal property tax. So sometimes our politicians make promises they cannot keep. So keep that in mind.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, you get caught up and you say what you have to say to get elected.
Correct.
I mean, that's been around forever, and it's going to continue to be around.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, it's just, we have, what I like about our chat, more than any chat I've ever seen, is they're very pragmatic and understand what their own personal finances are. And some shows, everybody's Eigel. Another show, everybody's Kehoe. Another show, everybody's Ashcroft. We don't have an echo chamber here. We have really thought-provoking listeners that really research. So if we say it, we better have the facts, because they'll call us on it.
No, they
will.
That'll happen.
They'll call, and they should, and they absolutely should.
I just find it interesting. I think this is it's a big deal.
It is a big deal
for Jay Ashcroft if he gets that out there, because I do think that Vivek is still resonating in the conservative community. Is he resonating all throughout Missouri, as our friend Scott Vaughn from the Missouri Times likes to say? People in St. Louis think there's nothing else outside of the St. Louis area.
That's right. That's right. And if you're in the St. Louis area, you probably aren't voting for Kehoe, probably. But what we have to remember is the state is large. And outside of St. Louis, the biggest majority are voting for Kehoe. So you just have to, and if you're a farmer, and we have a lot of farmland. So, and then Jay Ashcroft, he's a very likable person and has his dad's name, and he does have a lot of money, maybe not as much as Kehoe, but he does have a lot. So I think between what the pundits are saying, the day after the 4th of July, up through the primary is going to be like the last final sprint, and anything can happen. Literally, because there's still a lot of undecideds.
Yeah, the listeners in Illinois say, we'll take any one of the three, please.
Any one of the three. That's right. If you're outside of
tired
Missouri,
of dealing with Cook County and Illinois and Chicago.
That's right. That's right. Any one of those three outside of Missouri, you'd be well to take one of them. You'd be well to take one of them.
Oh my God. Okay, we got lots of stuff to get. Hey, by the way, Julian Assange.
Oh yeah.
He got out yesterday. He pleaded guilty, but he's out of prison. He's with his wife. He's with his kids now. I just love what he's saying publicly.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if we have to. Mike Pence said he needs to be in jail.
Gosh.
And I'm like, Mike, just be quiet, please. Just Mike,
Yeah.
leave Mike. Mike.
Mike, yep.
Mike.
And we have a
Leave.
quote. It's unbelievable what he said.
Listen to Julian Assange.
There is no society anymore. What there is a transnational security elite that is busy carving up the world using your tax money. To combat that elite, we must not petition. We must take it over. We must form our own networks of strength and mutual value, which can challenge those strengths and self-interested values of the warmongers in this country and in others that have formed hand in hand an alliance to take money from the United States, from every NATO country, from Australia, and launder it through Afghanistan, launder it through Iraq, launder it through Somalia, launder it through Yemen, launder it through Pakistan, and wash that money in people's blood.
Okay, I wanted to get that Julian out there just so remember, because I think he's going to fade into quiet now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think he might. I don't know if some deal was struck, but his representatives in Australia were speaking ahead of him yesterday, just to remind people who he is, what he's about, what he has gone through, all in the act of, getting certain information out that needs to be there.
Yes.
And that quote talking about country, I mean, he's saying what people won't say, and he's saying
Yes.
that publicly. And of course, people say they could see him having a terrible accident soon. I even hate to have to go there.
I hate to hear that too. But I don't know that you're wrong about saying that, because he is saying what the truth is. He's saying he's breaking it down. He's telling us about the whole world order. That's what he's saying. And he's calling them warmongers, because so if we've said on this show often, like people like Lindsey Graham, he's part of that. If you're pushing war and sending our young men and women to another land for oil or something else, that's part of the globalization of America. And it doesn't make us stronger. It hurts us a lot. Thank God for him. And that's why if you ever doubted that Mike Pence wasn't a traitor on J6, and now you hear what he's saying, he's not saying Julian Assange is a truth maker.
Well, let's give the other side of it. We do have that quote, as you were talking about, from the standpoint. I just get frustrated when it comes down, and here's Mike Pence. Even after everything that you hear him say, I guess you shouldn't be surprised. Julian Assange endangered the lives of our troops at a time of war and should have been prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. There is an argument for that. People make an argument for that. The Biden administration's plea deal is a miscarriage of justice, dishonors the service and sacrifice of men and women of armed forces and families. There should be no plea deals to avoid prison time for anyone that endangers the security of our military or the national security of the United States, ever. So he came out and said that. It is interesting. Trump didn't come public with any comments about Julian Assange yesterday. Biden didn't either.
Right. Well, I think they would be smart before the debate not to come out with any comment. It doesn't change anything before the debate. It is what it is. We still don't know the benefactor that got him out. Some people are saying it's Trump. I don't have any proof that that's what it is. And, you know, Jeannie's asking, what is he even talking about? Are you talking about Julian, or are you talking about Mike Pence? And if you're talking about Mike Pence, he made that statement very broad. But Mike Pence, when you look at everything about Mike Pence and you look at his background, he is very pro warmongering, and he's very pro globalization and the whole world order. So, I mean, it was, you know, and when he got picked and he was selected, this was not Trump's pick, but Trump listened to a lot of people that he thought knew better than him because he had never been in politics. You're not going to see this Donald Trump this time around. He knows who's who. He knows who the swamp creatures are. I think he thought he knew the last time, but he didn't.
Why is he even talking? Coming from the chat line, Judas Pence.
That's right, Judas
It's because
Pence.
people who are actors, what do they need? They need an audience. And when you don't have an audience, you're like, okay, I'm just sitting in this room by myself. Who else do we know that's like that? Obama. Terry says, yeah, well, he came out with the info that we shouldn't have been in a war. So who endangered our troops? Don't think it was Julian.
That's right.
Pence is a sellout.
Yes.
The Assange thing has played out at this point. I agree. I don't know where it goes from here.
I don't know either.
It's played out. I don't know if there's other information that can be brought forward. All I know is, as we were told yesterday, an interview with Tucker Carlson would be really nice if that could ever happen.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, would that be interesting.
And I wouldn't blame him. He told the truth. He called out, you know, the deep state, and he paid a very big price of 5 years in prison and not being free. So if he went and he hid in some bunker somewhere knowing his life is in danger, I don't blame him. Like you said yesterday, he's got a wife and 2 kids now. He did his job. Now let somebody else do it. Now, I'm not going to be sad if he goes on Tucker and starts telling more truth. I think that's great. I really do. So
please get that done. Or he may have a part of his deal, his plea deal, where he can't talk to media.
That could be. That absolutely.
And if I'm
could
the
be.
United States DOJ, dirty government, I'm not striking a deal unless he doesn't talk.
That's right.
I mean, he can't talk. There's no way. No freaking way. I'm letting that happen.
Yeah.
And maybe he just had enough of it.
He might have had
After
enough.
time and time again, those things starting to come down the chute.
Yeah, I can't imagine spending 5 years without freedom. You'd come out and not be just beaten down.
Glenn says he wouldn't be surprised if Pence showed up on the Epstein list. I would. I think we finally reached our pit.
Are you sure?
There's
Vic?
no way in hell.
I don't know. See,
no way in hell. Hey, I'm Mike Pence, and I fake like I know how to pour gas in my ads, you know?
Okay, that's why he would be on Epstein.
I just couldn't see
and I don't blame him for saying he doesn't want to be alone without, okay. He made the comment that he could never be in a room alone with a woman that wasn't his wife. What you hiding there, Mikey? I'm here with you guys every day, and there's nothing wrong, and I'm a female.
No, but I get that. But there's pastors who say that too, though. I get that. Pastors say that because you never know what somebody may try to say or come up against you.
That's true. But I mean, when you have to act like, and I am a Christian and I believe Jesus is my savior, but if you have to act like you're such a holy roller, that's the first person I look at. What you hiding there? what's in your past.
Might be. Yeah, I can see that. When you explain it like that, no doubt.
Yeah, they're the first ones I look at that, I wouldn't be in a room by myself. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You're right. Pastors do say that. But I think differently about him now. When I saw he was willing to sell out all of those J6ers. Yeah. And Glenn says he said it while he was drinking.
Susan says it's so creepy that he said that. It was almost like an admission.
Right? That's what I thought. Yeah.
Mike Pence and I've turned very creepy now.
I know. And I don't think Pence was listening.
I'm creepy Uncle Mike. And there we go.
People think they have something on him. I do too. I do too. And I didn't know him.
Hey, all I know is if you're getting on a team with Chris Christie and Paul Ryan, yeah, I'm going to start to think twice about you.
So why wouldn't you be on the Epstein list?
Those are the three musketeers, the three amigos of whatever they are.
You betcha.
And wow. Damn, what a great show we've had again today, guys. I appreciate it. Boy, it just flies by. It's the fastest 2 hours.
Yeah, it just flew by.
It is the fastest 2 hours
really
in
is.
podcasting. Canceltheshow.com. We love it when you guys, we're going to wait for tomorrow for that, Joe. When you join in, you like, subscribe, you share the show, let people know on all of the platforms that we're on. And OX is really, really huge for us right now. Let platforms know. Jump in there. You can do that. Also, let advertisers know. People, if you have businesses that you think we should be convoying with that would like to support us or donate and or come on as advertisers, we have that option as well. You guys know all the people all around the country. Let us know. We love what we're doing. And we think we're doing a pretty good job of it. And we have been, 404, approaching 405 episodes. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. We appreciate everybody jumping in. Chris says, Flyboy Pence has lost the little credibility that he ever had that day in January. And it just went, bye-bye. See ya. At one point in time, he was even thought of as being a presidential candidate at some point in the future. That was just insane.
And, maybe he could have been if he had backed Trump the whole time. But once he stabbed Trump and all of the American patriots on J6, that was the end of his career. We all see who he is.
Yeah.
Who
guys,
he is.
We love it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. We'll be back again tomorrow. Lizzie, you're not going to be here tomorrow. You're moving, right?
I am not going to be. I will be back on Friday.
Megan will be here. The debate's tomorrow night. Megan comes in, does a great job when she fills in for me. She does a good job.
She's awesome.
When she fills in for Lizzie. We're grateful to have her here tomorrow as well. You gonna make it with the move today? You need help? You guys all good?
No, we're all good. I'll be leaving here and finishing up packing, and then we move tomorrow. But I will be back on Friday. I wouldn't miss it on Friday with the debate. I want to be with all these people on the chat line with their opinions on the debate. So I will be here. Might be a little tired. Might have a hat on. Might be falling in here, but I will be here.
Yes. Once again, we're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support that you give us. We will go do what we can to put together tomorrow's show because that's what we do. For Pro Joe and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Have an awesome day, everybody. If you have any ideas, contact Vic at canceltheshow.com, Lizzie at cancelthisshow.com. Guys, we will catch up with you later. Have a great Wednesday.